Hello everybody, my name is Skills and welcome back to the stream. How's everybody doing? How's everybody like the new shirt? I went to the store and I updated my wardrobe. Now, have I had these pants for you can't even see them. Have I had these pants for a while? Yes. Is this a little bit too much plaid and or stripe-age going on? The answer is also yes, but the most important thing, chat, the most important thing is that today is the broadcast of Nerd Cave News for the 31st of July. And today we've got some good shit on the docket. Let's go over a couple of them. Valve is fulfilling all of their Steam Deck orders by the end of this year. Google denies that Stadia is dying. Steam also is banning logos and awards in-game panels when you look and browse games in the store. Obviously, some Grand Theft Auto 6 leaks. Nokia is going to make internet free from space. And then Micron is going to build foundries in the United States. Let's talk about it. Okay, so first on the docket for me is going to be Valve will fulfill all current Steam Deck reservations by the end of the year. So Valve will fulfill all Steam Deck reservations by the end of the year. Following Valve's pledge to more than double its Steam Deck shipments back in June, the company has announced with improvements to the supply chain, it now means that it can fulfill all current reservations for the handheld gaming PC by the end of the year. Obviously, as the Steam Deck is continuing production for all of its pre-order candidates, which is the bad part about it, right? All of the pre-order candidates that have not gotten their Steam Decks now are going to get their Steam Decks. And so that's the big key here, is them making sure that all of its Steam Decks are getting out there from the people who pre-ordered them for fucking ever. Like if you watch Linus Tech Tips, you know that Luc Lafreniere has not gotten his Steam Deck yet, and he reserved it way back when they came out. So Steam Deck officially getting all of its shipments fulfilled is kind of huge. It's kind of a big deal. So making sure that, the supply chain is finally there and the Steam Deck can finally fulfill its predicted amounts is a good thing. That's kind of the big thing. If Valve doesn't succeed at this, it's going to put a sour taste in the mouth of people for Steam Deck. So they have to do this, right? They have to make it matter, and they have to make it count, and they have to get all of the Steam Decks that were ordered by this year out by the end of the year. Obviously, if somebody orders one at the end of the year, they're not going to get one until next year, right? But all of the people who have ordered up until this point have to be able to get their Steam Deck, and if not, it's going to be a very negative connotation for Valve and for the Steam Deck and Steam in the upcoming years, especially. And the big thing here is killing or letting live Steam on Linux, because if the Steam Deck fails, Linux gaming takes a hit. I don't think it'll die, but Linux gaming takes a hit. And if this is the opportunity for Linux to become a main platform for gaming, and have more equal opportunity with developers and development and making games playable on the Steam Deck and getting people to actually play these games and actually do these things. And so we'll see if Valve can actually get these Steam Decks out. It's going to be a huge plus for them, because it's going to be a huge plus for them because they're selling consoles. It's going to be a huge plus for them because people are going to be on their platforms instead of Origin, instead of Ubisoft, instead of all these other guys. And it's going to be a really big win for Linux gaming as well. So we'll see if that happens. Again, yet to be seen, so we'll see what happens with that. Let's go ahead and move on. Google has formally denied a rumor that says Stadia gaming service will soon be closed down, saying that it is still working on bringing more great games to the platform. Stadia's cloud-based gaming service has been under one form of death watch or another almost from the start, thanks to confusing marketing campaigns, reports of technical problems, and the absence of the very basic functionality at launch. The situation grew even more dire in early 2021 when Stadia's Jade Raymond-led internal development studio was shuttered. Stadia is not shutting down. Rest assured, we're always working on bringing more great games to the platform and Stadia Pro. Please let us know if you have any other questions. See, now this is important, right? So Google has a track history of closing products and getting rid of things. Google Glass is a perfect example of that. There's a Holo project from back in the day that was trying to compete with Microsoft Holo, then Microsoft quit Microsoft Holo. Like, Google has a track history of just dumping products, right? Look at Google Play Music turned into YouTube Music, and kind of like it re-evolved, but it also closed down like a development cycle. A new app was born. Like, Google is constantly trying to reevaluate, better utilize, and then close things that aren't working. They're not afraid of dumping money into something and losing money on something like Stadia. Stadia has only lost money. There's really no profitable margin for Stadia right now. But they are continuing to pour money into it because of certain things that they believe will be the future. And I think Stadia has finally kind of gotten a little bit of the difference between Stadia 4 years ago and Stadia now is the fact that Stadia was kind of the only player in the market aside from like Nvidia's Shield, and those were like very niche markets. Whereas like now Xbox is trying a Game Pass type thing. Now PlayStation is starting their own kind of it's like PlayStation Plus games or whatever. But so the big question, right, is are they valid in staying in this market? And I think the answer is yes, because you have Xbox Game Pass, you have PlayStation Plus Premium, you have all of these gaming companies coming together and saying, okay, we want to have a cloud-based platform, which is what Stadia is. And you see Xbox kind of evolving into, you don't necessarily need an Xbox to play on Google Game or Xbox Game Pass. And now Google Stadia is like, okay, we give you a little plug-in thing to your TV and you can stream games. And with things like the FCC trying to increase the limits of internet bandwidth across the country, or increase the minimums of internet bandwidth across the country, game streaming, not from like a live streaming platform like we're doing right now, but game streaming, like not owning the actual titles, but streaming it from a service, is coming to be more and more likely of a scenario, more and more likely of a service. So gaming as a service is becoming more and more likely the future of gaming. And so I think Google Stadia is now kind of justified in their existence forever. Have they ever done it better than Microsoft or PlayStation? No. But I think we're going to see them start putting even more money into it to solidify those systems so that people, especially, mobile games on all Android devices and maybe even Apple devices, depending on how things go, could be the future. And so I think it's important for us to just continue to pay attention to this. We'll see what happens. Steam bans award logos and review scores in key art images. It is not uncommon to see a Steam game's key art overcrowded with award logos, review scores, and discount texts. It's a way for publishers and developers to convey their game is worth considering, but it is also annoying at best, misleading at worst. To eliminate both annoyance and potentially suspect behavior, Steam has imposed a new rule that will do away with them entirely. This is it seems like a pretty basic topic, right? Like Steam is just making it so that their platform is less cluttered. My guess is this has to do with like Steam Deck and making it as clean as possible of a UI, because that's how consoles have to be. They have to be as clean as possible with less ads and less all sorts of stuff like that. So big topic here is seeing that they're kind of reading the room and that like nobody looks at them anyway. So like making developers make it a priority, or like make it kind of the meta of like getting your game seen based on awards you've won from arbitrary award shows. Like that's important, or from like arbitrary magazines, that kind of thing. So who fucking reads magazines anymore, says the guy literally on multiple articles websites. So yeah, I think this is a good thing. I think it just declutters the UI. I think Steam for a long time has had a problem with kind of how clean and aesthetic they are. They're very much like the PCMR kind of vibe when you go to download games and you kind of like go and search through their UI and all their achievements and stuff. And so kind of cleaning that up, because now they're in the console race, and kind of cleaning that up so games look more appealing. People spend more time in the store and actually, buying things. I think this is a super big point that Steam is trying to make here as a company, and I think it's an overall good thing, because like who fucking looked at them anyway? It's one of those things that's like it's not going to hurt consumers. So like the only people who are detriment to this is like developers, but like the people who really care about this are like indie developers. And so if your indie game is good enough, it's going to get picked up by Steam. It's been shown time and time again. Super Meat Boy, Minecraft. I mean, like all these different companies and all these different games have like been successful. Fall Guys have been successful, and Among Us especially have been successful without those. Oh, I have 15 different accolades. So yeah, Make good games. All right, this is going to be like the big topicer for all you guys. Some Grand Theft Auto 6 leaks, which is super important because Grand Theft Auto 5 was one of the biggest games, if still not one of the biggest games, to hit the marketplace of ideas. And so GTA 6 is going to be huge. And so once they finally confirmed that it was well underway, people immediately started speculating. One of the big things in this article, this is a Eurogamer article, by the way. I might as well just show it really quick. So it essentially features 4 protagonists and 3 cities. This is going to be huge. If they can actually make 3 whole cities, because like you can consider San Andreas and Los Santos like 2 separate cities, right? But like it's all on its own fucking encompassing island. Like it's literally on an island, to be completely fair. In the game of Grand Theft Auto 5, it is literally on an island. Having 3 whole cities that you can go to, whether it's like a fast travel situation or actually being able to travel there, like being able to buy a plane and like fucking travel there, would be huge. I think it would make a lot of different options available to game design, and I'm very excited to see what Rockstar does because they're very good at actually taking the time to develop a really fucking quality product. GTA 4, GTA 5, and hopefully GTA 6, along with all the Red Dead series, has been fucking great. Like, they've been critically acclaimed games. They have been hitting banger after banger. So if this leak has any profit of merit to it whatsoever, this could be huge. This could be a really big deal, and I think it would mean a lot for the community as a whole with this stuff going on. So we'll see. I'm excited to see what the hell is going to go on. I think it'll be a big deal. I think the game will actually be huge, just like Grand Theft Auto 5 was. I think Rockstar hits it out of the fucking park every single time. So I'm really not worried about it. If you guys are, let me know why you are in the chat, and then obviously in the comment section down below if you're watching the YouTube video. Okay, so this one is kind of boring, but I'm personally invested in this just because of how exciting this could be for more accessibility to chips and stuff like that as graphics cards become harder and harder to find, and SSDs and all sorts of other stuff, memory and whatnot. Micron announced its plan for advanced U.S. memory chip fabrication center in the United States. So that's huge. So essentially the United States Senate passed a bill that gives $75 billion to manufacturers of chips like Intel, like AMD, and now Micron and Samsung as well, to essentially give them more supplies, more funds, so they can, afford all the shit that's happening within supply chain issues right now. And so they passed the Chips and Science Act, and it's allowing more companies to actually develop in America, which is huge, which means supply chain issues, especially sea transport, will not be as huge of an issue, at least for the North American market. So that is kind of a big deal. We have trucking routes, train routes, all sorts of stuff, air shipments and stuff like that, that won't have to be like immediately delayed because of chip manufacturing. And Micron is one of the bigger players in this, especially when it comes to RAM, especially when it comes to motherboard manufacturing, and obviously SSDs you see here. So being able to kind of put all those memory chips on GPUs and SSDs and motherboards and stuff like that will allow supply chain, certain supply chains to kind of alleviate, and will be less of a problem in the future. So I think that's super huge. I think that's really big. So being able to do that, it's a good thing. Obviously, it creates jobs for Americans. So as an American, I feel really good about that. So, and then let's lead to the last topic. This one I find the most interesting. And I think it is a really kind of good kind of context to what we talked about with the FCC last week and with Starlink last week about broadband services as a whole, and like trying to serve as many people as possible broadband services. And so one of the things that I wanted to talk about was Nokia and AST Space Mobile join forces for broadband from space. So essentially, I don't know at all what AST Space Mobile is, but essentially they have like a fleet of satellites. And so Nokia and them are going to be teaming up to create a network of management systems and technical support that they're essentially a 5-year deal with Austin, Texas. So they're from Austin, Texas. So AST Space Mobile is from Austin, Texas. They've got a 5-year contract to work together. And they're intending to offer connections to people and places without digital services. I think this is really huge, and I think Nokia's president said it best. Connectivity should be considered an essential service like water, electricity, and gas. And so everybody should be able to have access to universal broadband services that ensure no one is left behind. I think this is one thing that a lot of people aren't talking about. The fact that industries like the internet infrastructure, so ISPs, your Comcasts, your Dish Networks, your Spectrums, and CenturyLinks of the world are not keeping pace with how quickly technology is innovating, with how quickly it becomes more and more accessible and more necessary to have all of these favorite services, Google, Apple, access to all of the data that is the internet, access to a good quick Google search, access to more information across the board, to have a better form of information gathering, to have just get everybody on the internet, have more forms of communication, more forms of information, and more forms of entertainment to everybody, because again, it should be a human right. And I think this is a really good step for Nokia and AST Space Mobile. I'll be keeping an eye on this so we can update you guys on Nerd Cave News. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that topic, because I really think it is important. I really think it's a big step to offering as much service to everybody as possible, so that as many communities are served as possible, have a voice, have communication, and have information to better educate themselves and create a better homogenous human experience. That's pretty much all I gotta say. That was like prolific. That was aggressively patriotic, but I believe it and I think it's true. So anyway, that I think does Nerd Cave News for the day. So thank you guys so much for watching Nerd Cave News. Like and subscribe to the channel. Like this video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Nerd Cave News. I do this live on Sundays and Mondays. So if you guys are available, then come visit the live stream and not have to be in the dreaded comment section, or you'll be left behind. You won't be in the news, in the know right away. You'll have to look at the comment section for people's opinion when you can have fun in the live chat. It's really just my Stream Elements bot right now, but you know, you could come and hang out in the live stream. That'd be kind of dope. Don't forget to check out the Discord as well, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.